You bought an AI tool. Maybe it came bundled with your CRM. Maybe you added it on top of your existing stack. And if you're being honest, it's not really doing what you expected. The reports look off. The recommendations don't match what your team is seeing on the ground, or your people tried it for a few weeks and quietly went back to doing things the old way. Here's the thing, that's not really an AI problem. In most cases, the AI is working exactly as designed. The problem is what it's working with. I'm Tim Ritchie, CEO of Integrate IQ, and we've spent over a decade connecting business systems for mid-sized companies, and we see this pattern constantly. Companies invest in AI, but they skip the foundation and wonder why the results don't ever show up. Today, I want to walk you through exactly why that happens and what you can do about it. Here's the main idea. AI doesn't generate insights from thin air. It reads your data, it looks at what's in your systems, it finds patterns, and makes predictions or recommendations based on what it sees. So if the data is incomplete, the insights will be incomplete. And if the data is wrong, the insights will be wrong. And if your data is scattered across systems that don't talk to each other, the AI is only ever working with a partial picture. Think of it this way. Imagine you hire a sharp analyst to review your business performance, but when they sit down to work, you hand them 3 different spreadsheets that were built by 3 different people, none of which have been updated consistently, and none of which reference each other. That analyst is smart, but they can only work with what they have. That's your AI tool right now, and it's the AI tool in most companies. The first reason AI fails is data silos. Most growing companies have accumulated systems over time. You've got a CRM handling your customer relationships. You've got an ERP managing operations, inventory, or billing. You have a support platform tracking tickets and customer issues, a finance system, maybe a vertical specific platform unique to your industry. Each one of those systems has valuable data, but if they're not connected, that data stays locked inside each one. Your AI tool in HubSpot, for example, can only see what's in HubSpot. It has no idea that a customer just opened a billing dispute in your ERP. It doesn't know that they're submitted 3 support tickets in the last 30 days. It doesn't see that their renewal is coming up next month according to your finance system. So when it tries to predict which customers are at risk of churning, it's missing most of the story. And the prediction is going to reflect that. The data exists, it's just not where your AI can reach it. The second reason is data quality. This one's a little harder to face, but it matters just as much. Manual data entry introduces errors. Sales reps abbreviate company names inconsistently. People skip fields they consider optional. Contacts get created twice because nobody checked for duplicates. Fields that were meant for one thing get used for something else because it was convenient at the time. None of that's a disaster when a human is reading through records. A person can interpret a misspelled company name or figure out the context of an incomplete record. But AI can't do that. It reads your data literally. If you have 40% of your contact records missing industry data and your AI is trying to segment by industry, you just lost 40% of your data set. If you have duplicate records for the same company, the AI might count that company twice in every single analysis it runs. But bad data doesn't disappear when you add AI on top of it. It gets amplified. We've done data audits for companies that were genuinely surprised by what we found. Duplicate rates, missing fields, inconsistent naming conventions, not because they were careless, but because data quality degrades naturally over time without a system in place to maintain it. The third reason is structure. Specifically, your data isn't structured for what the AI actually needs. This is the most technical of the 3, but I'll keep it practical. AI tools, especially the ones built into platforms like HubSpot, are designed to work with data in specific ways. The forecasting features expect deal data to be formatted in a certain way. The predictive lead scoring needs contact properties to be populated in specific fields. The AI email suggestions look at engagement history stored in particular places. If your integration wasn't built with that in mind, those features simply won't fire correctly. The data might technically be in the system, but it's in the wrong place, in the wrong format, or missing the relationships that AI needs to connect the dots. This is why integration architecture matters as much as the integration itself. It's not just about moving data from one system to another. It's about making sure that the data lands in the right place in a format that the receiving system can actually use. We see this a lot with companies that use a basic connector or a middleware tool to link their systems. Yep, the sync runs, the data moves, but nobody thought through how HubSpot needs that data structured for AI to do anything useful for it. I want to give you a clear picture of what you're actually working toward. This isn't about adding complexity. It's about building a foundation that makes your existing tools dramatically more useful. When your systems are connected and your data flows cleanly, a few things start to happen. HubSpot AI can flag at-risk deals before your rep notices the relationship is cooling. It can identify which customer segments are actually generating the most lifetime value, not just the most revenue up front. It can automate follow-up sequences that are triggered by real operational events, like a contract coming up for renewal or a support ticket being resolved. The AI didn't get smarter, but the foundation got better. We have clients who went from feeling like HubSpot's AI feature were a gimmick to genuinely relying on them for pipeline reviews and forecasting. The product didn't change. What changed was the quality and completeness of the data underneath it. That's what's available to you, but you have to earn it by fixing the foundation first. So what do you actually do? 3 things in this order. First, audit what data you have and where it lives. Before you optimize anything, you need to understand your inputs. Map out your systems. Where does customer data live? Where does operational data live? Where does financial data live? And what are the gaps between them? Second, find the biggest breaks in your data flow. Where does information stop moving? Where are your teams manually copying data from one system to another? Those manual handoffs are almost always where the data quality degrades, and they're usually the best places to start with an integration. Third, fix the foundation before you add more tools. If your data isn't clean and connected, buying another AI product will not solve the problem. The most effective thing you can do right now is invest in the infrastructure underneath your existing tools. The tools you already have will perform better, dramatically better in most cases. Here's the bottom line. AI is only as useful as the data behind it. Companies that get that right will get real, measurable value from the tools they've already bought. Companies that skip it will keep feeling like technology isn't delivering. The good news is this is completely a solvable problem. It's not glamorous work, but it's not as complicated as it sounds, and the payoff is significant. If you want to go deeper on this, I've linked a guide below that helps you walk through and assess your own data readiness. There's no form to fill out, just a practical resource you can use right now. And if you'd rather just talk it through, that's fine too. A short discovery call is usually enough to surface where your biggest gaps are. The link to book one is in the description. Thanks very much for watching. If this was useful, subscribe. We're putting out content like this regularly, focused on practical integration and AI readiness for growing businesses.